In this video, we're going to look at the basic syntax for web services description language, and we're going to do that by referencing one of the web service description language files that was created as part of an earlier web service. We will look at the various types of tags and try to understand how the information is transferred and what formatting the computers use in order to make sure that every computer can understand what's in a web service and how to access it. Web Services Description Language is written in XML format. Aside from providing maximum compatibility, this also makes it pretty easy to work with from a human perspective. Any WSDL message is going to be structured as a hierarchy of tags, and they all use essentially the same tags. In fact, the message structure is sufficiently regular that some servers, including Glassfish, automatically generate a WSDL message when you deploy a web service. There are times when you will want to change this message or define a custom service, though, so it's still worthwhile to learn how WSDL works. To show an example of what this looks like, I'm going to look at the WSDL for the simple web service that we created in Chapter 1, Video 4. If you skip Chapter 1, you can download the code from the exercise files for Chapter 1, Video 4 and deploy it to follow along. To get to the WSDL, reopen the administration console at the URL on screen, navigate to the Applications and Hello World, and then click to view the endpoint just as before. This time, though, rather than starting the tester, click the link next to WSDL. This will bring up two links to automatically generated WSDLs, just as it did when we tried to test the methods. Since we don't have security enabled, just click on the first HTTP link. This is what the WSDL message looks like for the Hello World web service. Now let's dig a little deeper and look at some of the tags here. The root tag for this XML file is called definitions. It contains information about where and how each of the main components of your message are defined. Most of these referenced URLs serve as something of a universal standard for defining tags like XSD, SOAP, and so on. The types tag for this XML file contains the schema for this web service. The import location should be port 8080 on your computer. As you can see from the namespace, this references information that is automatically generated by the package in which your web service resides. Each one of the message tags defines one possible transfer of data. There are two per method, one for the input and one for the response. The port type tag looks similar to the message tags in form, but has a slightly different function. This constructs an HTTP URL of the package, class, and method identifiers for each method to be used by the accessing program. The binding tag lists the methods once again, providing the SOAP bindings for each one this time. The choices are remote procedure call encoded, RPC literal, document encoded, or document literal. We'll go through these in more detail in the chapter on SOAP, but for now we don't have any form of encoding, so document literal is the default binding style. Finally, the service tag gives the actual URL where the service resides. Glassfish uses port 8080, so the location should be just the name of your computer, the port, and then the class path to the service. This is the basic syntax for a WSDL method. You can type this yourself, or you can allow Glassfish to generate it automatically, but either way, it is universally understandable by almost any computer that can work with web services.